Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to invite you to explore a profound truth. Ahai, Val, you woman thinks differently. This is not just about what she thinks, but how she thinks, the very architecture of her mind, her beliefs, and her patterns of thought that shape her reality. You see, the mind is an extraordinary instrument. Every thought creates a biochemical reaction in the brain and body, signaling the environment on how to respond. Ahai, Val, you woman understands that her thoughts are not random or insignificant. They are the seeds from which her life blossoms or withers. She chooses her thoughts intentionally, cultivating positivity, confidence, and clarity, rather than allowing fear, doubt, or past conditioning to dictate her identity. The power lies in her awareness, that moment of conscious choice when she catches herself in a limiting belief and decides to rewrite the narrative. She doesn't cling to old stories of inadequacy or scarcity. Instead, she embraces a vision of possibility and abundance. This rewiring of thought patterns is not merely hopeful thinking, but a deliberate act of transforming her brain and body chemistry to align with her highest self. Ahai, Val, you woman embraces growth, understanding that every challenge is an opportunity to evolve. She moves beyond reactive habits and steps into proactive creation. Her mind is a laboratory where she experiments with new ideas, new possibilities, and new ways of being. In this space, she cultivates resilience and grace, knowing that change is the gateway to freedom. Ultimately, thinking differently means stepping into a new reality, one where she is not defined by past experiences or external validation, but by an inner knowing of her worth, power, and purpose. This is the mindset that elevates her life and, in turn, influences the world around her profoundly. Consciousness is the foundation of how Ahai, Val, you woman shapes her life and identity. It is the continuous awareness of her thoughts, feelings, and actions, an active presence that allows her to step outside of automatic reactions and habitual patterns. This heightened consciousness gives her the power to observe her inner world without judgment, and to make deliberate choices about what she allows to influence her reality. When a woman operates from a place of deep consciousness, she becomes aware that her current life is a reflection of the mental and emotional patterns she has cultivated over time. These patterns create a certain frequency, a way of being that attracts experiences aligned with her dominant thoughts and beliefs. Through conscious awareness, she gains the ability to shift those patterns, recognizing when her thoughts are rooted in fear, scarcity, or self-doubt, and choosing instead to focus on thoughts that empower, uplift, and expand her potential. This level of consciousness transforms the way she interacts with the world. Rather than being a passive recipient of circumstances, she becomes an active creator of her experience. She understands that the mind is not just a processor of information, but a generator of reality. Each moment of awareness becomes a point of transformation where she can consciously direct her energy toward growth and possibility. Consciousness also opens the door to emotional mastery. By staying present with her feelings without becoming overwhelmed or reactive, she develops resilience and clarity. This emotional intelligence allows her to navigate challenges with grace and to maintain a steady course toward her goals. In essence, consciousness empowers her to live intentionally, creating a life that reflects her true values and highest vision. Thought patterns are the invisible architects of Ahai, you woman's reality. They shape how she interprets the world, how she responds to challenges, and how she perceives herself. These patterns are the repeated thoughts and beliefs stored in the subconscious mind, forming the foundation upon which her daily experiences are built. Understanding and reshaping these thought patterns is essential for any woman who seeks to elevate her life and embody true value. Ahai, Val, you woman knows that her thoughts are not random. They are habitual circuits created through repetition and emotional charge. If she constantly entertains thoughts of limitation, unworthiness, or fear, these become the default settings of her mind, influencing her behavior and outcomes in predictable ways. But when she intentionally rewires these patterns, replacing negative or limiting thoughts with empowering, affirming ones, she rewires her brain and transforms her life. This transformation is not a matter of wishful thinking, but of neuroscience. The brain is plastic, meaning it can change its structure and function based on new experiences and focused attention. By consciously choosing empowering thoughts and reinforcing them through consistent practice, now, you woman creates new neural pathways that support confidence, clarity, and resilience. She is aware that breaking old patterns takes discipline and patience. It requires catching herself in moments of negative self-talk or doubt and consciously shifting to a more constructive perspective. Over time, this practice reshapes her internal dialogue and external reality, aligning her with opportunities and relationships that reflect her true worth. Ultimately, mastering thought patterns allows her to move from being a passive reactor to an active creator. She no longer allows external circumstances to dictate her feelings or actions. Instead, she chooses thoughts that propel her forward, creating a life of purpose, passion, and authentic fulfillment. Neuroplasticity is the remarkable ability of the brain to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This means that you woman is not bound by her past experiences or old habits. Her brain can change, adapt, and grow in response to new thoughts and behaviors. Understanding neuroplasticity empowers her to break free from limiting patterns and create a new, empowered way of thinking and being. When a woman embraces the concept of neuroplasticity, she realizes that change is possible at any stage of life. The brain is not fixed or static, it is dynamic and responsive. This knowledge instills hope and motivation because it means she is not trapped by past failures, fears, or conditioning. Instead, she can intentionally rewire her brain to support her highest aspirations. This rewiring happens through repeated focus and practice. When she consistently chooses empowering thoughts and behaviors, her brain strengthens the neural pathways associated with those positive patterns. Conversely, pathways connected to negative or self-sabotaging thoughts weaken over time. This process enables her to develop new habits, build confidence, and transform her emotional responses. You woman uses this understanding to cultivate habits that align with her vision and values. She practices mindfulness, positive affirmations, and visualization to reinforce new neural pathways. She also surrounds herself with environments and relationships that support her growth, knowing that external influences can shape brain plasticity as well. By leveraging neuroplasticity, she steps into her power as a conscious creator of her reality. She no longer feels powerless against old fears or doubts because she knows that each moment presents an opportunity to change her brain and therefore her life. This scientific understanding of the mind becomes a foundation for lasting transformation and self-mastery. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of transformation for a you woman. It is the deep, honest understanding of her inner world, her thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and motivations. This awareness allows her to recognize patterns that no longer serve her and to consciously choose new ways of being. Without self-awareness, change remains superficial, but with it, she gains clarity and control over her life. You woman cultivates self-awareness by regularly tuning into her feelings and thoughts, observing them without judgment. She becomes curious about why she reacts in certain ways and what triggers her emotions. This practice reveals hidden beliefs and subconscious programming that influence her behavior. With this knowledge, she can begin to challenge and shift limiting narratives that have kept her stuck. Self-awareness also helps her understand her strengths and values, providing a compass for decision-making. She learns to honor her intuition and inner wisdom, trusting herself to make choices that align with her highest good. This trust builds confidence and reduces the need for external validation or approval. In relationships, Self-awareness enables her to set healthy boundaries and communicate authentically. She recognizes when others' expectations conflict with her values and has the courage to say no when necessary. This clarity fosters deeper connections based on mutual respect and honesty. Furthermore, self-awareness is a practice of presence, being fully engaged in the moment rather than distracted by worries about the past or future. This presence allows her to respond to life's challenges with calmness and resilience. It also opens her heart to gratitude and joy, enriching her overall experience. Ultimately, self-awareness empowers a hive, you woman, to live intentionally, making conscious choices that reflect her true self. It is the foundation for lasting growth and the key to unlocking her fullest potential. Mindset shift is the pivotal change that allows a hive, you woman, to move from limitation to possibility, from fear to courage, and from doubt to confidence. It is the conscious decision to reframe how she perceives herself and the world around her. This shift is not just a change in thinking, but a transformation of her entire approach to life, relationships, and challenges. A hive you woman understands that her mindset shapes her reality. If she views obstacles as insurmountable, she will likely feel defeated before she even begins. But when she adopts a growth mindset, she sees challenges as opportunities to learn, grow, and become stronger. This shift opens doors to new experiences and solutions that were previously hidden by limiting beliefs. The mindset shift also involves moving away from scarcity thinking, the belief that there is never enough love, success, or happiness, and embracing abundance. This abundance mindset allows her to celebrate others' successes without jealousy, to give generously, and to trust that life's resources are plentiful. It frees her from comparison and competition, enabling her to focus on her unique path and gifts. Moreover, this shift empowers her to take responsibility for her life. She stops blaming circumstances or other people for her situation, and instead recognizes her power to create change. This ownership fuels motivation and resilience, helping her persevere through setbacks with determination. A mindset shift also transforms how she relates to herself. She replaces self-criticism with self-compassion, understanding that growth is a process that involves mistakes and learning. This gentler inner dialogue fosters confidence and inner peace. By embracing a new mindset, you woman rewires her brain for success, happiness, and fulfillment. This transformation is the gateway to living a life aligned with her highest values and deepest desires, unlocking her true potential. Empowerment is the deep knowing that you woman holds the key to her own life and destiny. It is a shift from feeling like a victim of circumstances to embracing her inherent power and responsibility. Empowerment is not about controlling everything around her, but about mastering her inner world, her thoughts, emotions, and actions, and choosing how she responds to life's challenges. You woman understands that true empowerment begins within. She recognizes that external validation is fleeting and unreliable, but inner strength is enduring and transformative. This realization frees her from dependence on others' approval and allows her to stand confidently in her own truth. She embraces her strengths, acknowledges her weaknesses without judgment, and commits to continual growth. Empowerment also means setting boundaries that protect her energy and values. She knows when to say no and when to step away from situations or relationships that drain or diminish her. This self-respect reinforces her sense of worth and teaches others how to treat her. It is an act of courage that signals she will not settle for less than she deserves. Moreover, empowerment fuels her ability to take bold action. Fear and doubt may arise, but she chooses to act anyway, trusting that she is capable of navigating uncertainty. This courage is born from a deep faith in her own resilience and the support of a higher power or inner wisdom. She also empowers others by lifting them up, sharing her strength, and creating spaces for growth and encouragement. Her empowerment is not selfish but expansive, contributing to a collective rise in confidence and purpose. Ultimately, empowerment is the foundation of a high-value woman's life. It enables her to live authentically, pursue her passions, and influence the world around her with grace and strength. It is the catalyst for transformation and fulfillment. Emotional regulation is a vital skill that distinguishes a high-value woman from others. It is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage her emotions in a way that supports her well-being and goals. This does not mean suppressing or ignoring feelings, but rather responding to them with awareness and intentionality. Through emotional regulation, she gains mastery over her internal state and prevents emotions from controlling her decisions and actions. A high-value woman knows that emotions are powerful signals, messages from her inner self that reveal her needs, values, and boundaries. When she is emotionally regulated, she can observe these feelings without becoming overwhelmed or reactive. Instead of reacting impulsively to stress, anger, or fear, she pauses, breathes, and chooses a response aligned with her highest self. This skill allows her to maintain calm and clarity even in difficult situations. Whether facing criticism, disappointment, or conflict, she remains composed and grounded, which earns respect and fosters healthy communication. Emotional regulation helps her to avoid unnecessary drama and preserves her energy for what truly matters. Furthermore, managing emotions effectively strengthens her relationships. It enables her to empathize with others without losing herself, to express her needs clearly, and to resolve disagreements constructively. She understands that emotional intelligence is a form of strength that nurtures connection and trust. Emotional regulation also contributes to resilience. Life's challenges and uncertainties can stir intense emotions, but a high-value woman meets these moments with balance and grace. She uses mindfulness practices, self-reflection, and healthy coping strategies to navigate emotional waves without losing her center. By mastering her emotional landscape, she creates a stable foundation from which she can pursue her goals and dreams confidently. Emotional regulation is not just a skill, but a way of being that supports her growth, fulfillment, and authentic presence in the world. Intentional living is the conscious choice to design one's life with purpose and clarity, rather than drifting through days on autopilot. A high-value woman understands that her time, energy, and attention are precious resources, and she chooses to invest them wisely in alignment with her deepest values and goals. This deliberate approach to life empowers her to create meaning, satisfaction, and fulfillment in every area. Living intentionally begins with self-reflection, a deep inquiry into what truly matters to her. She identifies her passions, priorities, and non-negotiables, allowing these to guide her decisions and actions. This clarity provides a compass that keeps her focused, even when distractions and challenges arise. A high-value woman also sets clear boundaries to protect her intentional lifestyle. She recognizes that saying yes to some things means saying no to others. This discernment helps her avoid overcommitment and burnout, preserving her energy for what truly enriches her life. She is not swayed by societal pressures or expectations, but follows a path that resonates with her authentic self. Intentional living requires mindfulness, the ability to be present and fully engaged in each moment. By cultivating mindfulness, she deepens her appreciation for life's simple joys and strengthens her connection to herself and others. This presence allows her to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, creating more harmonious relationships and experiences. Furthermore, a high-value woman takes responsibility for her choices. She understands that she is the author of her story and refuses to play the victim or blame external circumstances. This ownership inspires her to take proactive steps toward her dreams, cultivating resilience and optimism along the way. By embracing intentional living, she crafts a life that reflects her true essence, bringing coherence between her inner world and outer reality. This alignment fuels her confidence, happiness, and sense of purpose. Growth mindset is the belief that abilities, intelligence, and qualities can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. For a high-value woman, embracing a growth mindset, it is essential because it transforms how she approaches challenges, failures, and opportunities. Instead of seeing setbacks as proof of inadequacy, she views them as valuable lessons that contribute to her evolution. A high-value woman understands that growth is a lifelong journey. She welcomes new experiences and seeks to expand her knowledge and skills continuously. This openness to learning keeps her adaptable and resilient in the face of change. She recognizes that comfort zones are limiting and that true progress requires stepping into uncertainty with courage. Having a growth mind, it also means being kind to herself during difficult times. She acknowledges that mistakes are part of the process and refrains from harsh self-judgment. This self-compassion encourages her to persist rather than give up, knowing that effort leads to improvement. This mindset shapes her relationships as well. She believes that people can change and grow, allowing her to approach others with empathy and patience. She encourages those around her to pursue their own growth, creating an environment of mutual support and inspiration. With a growth mindset, a high-value woman is motivated by progress rather than perfection. She celebrates small wins and uses feedback as a tool for development. This perspective keeps her moving forward, even when the path is challenging or unclear. Ultimately, embracing a growth mindset empowers her to break free from limiting beliefs and expand her potential. It fosters resilience, creativity, and confidence, enabling her to face life's uncertainties with hope and determination. This mindset becomes the driving force behind her continuous transformation and fulfillment. Inner transformation is the profound process through which a high-value woman evolves from the inside out. It is a journey of shedding old identities, beliefs, and patterns that no longer serve her, and embracing a new way of being that aligns with her highest self. This transformation is not superficial but deeply rooted in the shifts that occur within her mind, heart, and spirit. A high-value woman understands that true change begins internally. External circumstances can influence her life, but lasting fulfillment comes from transforming her inner landscape. She commits to self-discovery, seeking to understand her fears, desires, and motivations at a deeper level. This self-awareness is the catalyst for meaningful growth. Through inner transformation, she rewires limiting beliefs and replaces them with empowering truths. This process often requires courage as she faces uncomfortable emotions and challenges long-held assumptions. Yet, she embraces these moments as opportunities for healing and liberation, knowing that growth often involves discomfort. Spiritual practices, mindfulness, and reflection play vital roles in nurturing her inner transformation. These practices help her connect with a deeper sense of purpose and guidance, fostering peace and clarity amid life's complexities. As she cultivates this inner connection, she becomes less dependent on external validation and more grounded in her own worth. Inner transformation also expands her capacity for love and compassion, both for herself and others. She learns to forgive past mistakes and release resentment, freeing herself from the burdens of judgment and regret. This emotional freedom enhances her relationships and overall well-being. Ultimately, inner transformation empowers a high-value woman to live authentically and courageously. It enables her to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience, embodying a radiant presence that inspires those around her. This deep change is the foundation upon which she builds a life of meaning, purpose, and true fulfillment.